You're driving along the coast in your brand new car. It's pretty empty, so you decide to test out the engine and see how fast this baby can go. Oh yeah, that's fast. What? Cops on a Sunday? Unfortunately, you get pulled over by a couple of cops who don't seem too happy about working on the weekend. They pull out their badges and are ready to hand you a hefty speeding ticket. You start pleading with them, telling them that you were just excited to try out your brand new car that you bought with your raise. Raise, you say? The cops ask. That means you must be pretty smart, eh? Tell you what, we've been scratching our heads over these riddles from Stay Brainy, Stay Curious, and we can't figure out the answers for the life of us. If you help us solve these brain teasers, we'll let you go with just a warning. You obviously agree to this deal. Put your thinking caps on, you've got a lot on the line. Are you ready? Let's go! The first riddle is a number sequence. It starts with number 23, followed by 45, then 89, then 177. What number comes next in the sequence? If you answered 353, well done! If you still haven't figured out the pattern, let's solve it together. So what's the relationship between number 23 and 45? Well, it looks like if you multiply 23 by 2, then subtract 1 from the product, you get exactly that, 45. Let's try the same formula with 45 and 89. 45 times 2 is 90. 90 minus 1 is 89. Alright! Moving on, we have 89 times 2 minus 1. 89 times 2 is 178. 178 minus 1 is 177. So the next number in the sequence must be equal to 177 times 2 minus 1. 177 times 2 is 354, and 354 minus 1 is 353. The next brain teaser is a matchstick riddle. This is a favorite on the channel, but proves pretty tricky for most. As you can see, 5 times 0 is most definitely not 48. You have to move one match and one match only to correct this equation. Remember, you must replace the match that you choose and replace it back somewhere else in the equation. You cannot take it away. You also cannot simply put a matchstick across the equal sign. That's just lazy. So which matchstick do you move? As long as you know your multiplication table, you probably arrived at the answer quite promptly. That's right, you simply shift the middle matchstick from the 8 and move it to the 0 and make that 0 an 8. 5 times 8 is indeed 40, so you've corrected the equation. Hopefully this one wasn't too difficult for you. Okay, here's another number puzzle that will mess with your brain. You've got an addition operation written in the column method. You only know that the answer has a 6 in the tens and a 9 in the ones. What numbers are represented by the 3 shapes in the equation? To solve this riddle, you kind of have to work backwards. You need to start with the triangles. 3 triangles added together equal 9. What 3 numbers added together give you 9? 3, of course. 3 times 3 is 9. Same logic goes for the squares adding up to make a 6. What number times 3 equals 6? That's right, it's number 2. And finally, the circles. We now know that the triangle represents number 3. So what number added 3 times gives you 3? None other than number 1. So to summarize, the triangle stands for number 3, the square stands for number 2, and the circle stands for number 1. Next, we've got a fun word riddle. What belongs to you, but others use it more than you do? Oh, tricky, tricky. Did you figure it out? There is indeed one thing that is yours, but you rarely use it, and that's your name. Wow! I wonder if any of you geniuses can think of another answer that could be suitable as well. Let me know in the comments if you do. We've got a lovely math equation that tripped up so many grown adults. The equation reads 24 divided by 4, open parentheses, 8 divided by 4, close parentheses. Think carefully before answering because it's very easy to make this one tiny mistake that will give you a completely different answer. Okay, before we start solving, let's quickly go over the order of operations known as BIDMAS in the UK or PEMDAS in the US. What the rule states is that you should always solve your equations starting with parentheses, exponents, multiplication or division, and last addition or subtraction. Remember that when it comes to multiplication and division, they are of equal importance and must be solved from left to right. Same goes for addition and subtraction. When your equation is left with just these two operations, you solve it from left to right. Okay, so now that we're equipped with that knowledge, let's solve the actual equation. Let's start with the numbers inside the parentheses, 8 divided by 4. That's 2, so rewriting the equation, we'll have 24 divided by 4 and then 2 inside the parentheses. Remember that if there is no operation symbol in front of the parentheses, then the parentheses indicate multiplication. That means that we can write the equation as 24 divided by 4 times 2, so it's visually less confusing. Now we work from left to right. We solve 24 divided by 4 first, that's 6, then 6 times 2 is 12. 12 is the correct answer. If you got 3, it's probably because the 2 inside the parentheses tricked you into doing multiplication first. Don't fall for it next time, okay? Alright, this brain teaser is kind of like the previous sequence, but this time you need to figure out the relationship between the numbers on either side of the equal sign. We've got 123 equals 6, 234 equals 24, 345 equals 60, and 456 equals 120. So what does 567 equal to? If you're still trying to figure out the answer, don't worry, this is a tricky one. The numbers on the right side of the equal sign are basically the product of the numbers on the left side of the equal sign. 1 times 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 times 4 is 24. 3 times 4 times 5 is 12 times 5, that's 60. 4 times 5 times 6 is 20 times 6, that's 120. So the last row, 5 times 6 times 7 equals 30 times 7, that's 210. And just for good measure, we're gonna finish up with another matchstick riddle. This time, no multiplications, just addition and subtraction. But believe it or not, it actually makes it harder. You know the rules. Move one matchstick and replace it back to correct the equation. Which matchstick do you move? Guess what? There are two possible answers. The first possibility is to take the top vertical match from the 5 and just shift it slightly to the right to make it a 3. Your new equation reads 7 plus 3 minus 8, which equals 2. The second possibility is to take the horizontal matchstick from the 7 and move it to the 5 and make it a 9. You now have 1 plus 9 minus 8, which again is equal to 2. Both versions required only one matchstick to be moved while correcting the bogus equation. Yay! You did it! Wow, you are smart! The cops are super impressed with your riddle-solving skills and let you off the hook. Next time you speed, you better hope those cops also follow this channel. Well done today! If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I hope you learned something new, I hope you had fun, and I hope you always stay brainy. See you next time!